Excellent. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I think I tweeted it. Really feedback.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to our first meeting, council meeting of the year 2026. And I'd like to start off our meeting with our land acknowledgement, just acknowledging that the council is meeting on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Mishawut people. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And looking at introduction of late items, Administrator Roy, we have some late items we're introducing.
Yes, Your Worship, I have a letter that we received today from the school district for a meeting request for under correspondence.
Okay.
And
And where did you want to include that in the agenda, sir?
under correspondence.
Okay, yep.
And Councillor Pickard had an additional item. It does align with her item on the under the council reports, so maybe under there.
The salmon allocation policy. And we're doing that also under correspondence.
She has more information already under her council reports.
Okay.
So maybe we just
So under
add
council
it there.
reports. Terrific. Thank you, sir. Councilors, are any late items that you want to introduce? Other than Councillor Pickard's? Hearing none. We are done. Approval of the agenda be adopted as presented. We can remove it. Councillor Pickard nearly had her hand up. Second by Councillor Fawson. Any discussion? Staying none, call for the question. All in favor? Terrific. Adoption of minutes, that the regular meeting minutes from December 1st, 2025 be adopted as presented. Who care to move it? Councillor Waymeyer, second by Councillor Pringle. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Public and statutory hearings, seeing none, moving on. Unfinished business, seeing none, moving on. Might be able to watch the third period of the junior game. Till we get to the numbers, then we'll grind to a halt. Delegations, seeing none, moving on. Administrative reports. 8.1 Regional Grant Opportunity, Growing Communities Canopies. The motion is that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received. Who care to move it? Councillor Waymeyer, second by Councillor Pickard. Any discussion?
Your Worship, just for clarification, there was a typo in the report that in there, it refers to a motion from the New Charlotte Council. It's actually was supposed to be Gold River Council.
Yeah, I seen that. I was kind of curious about that. Thanks for clarifying that, sir. Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair.
First councillor to talk in 2026, another first.
Thank you. Thanks for that stat. And thanks Administrator Roy for clearing that up. And I had opportunity to chat a little bit with Sean Koopman today, the Manager of Emergency Services, who helped prepare the report and just ask a little bit more questions about it. And I definitely support the recommendation that we accept it and also full support for the application. And it sounds really interesting and kind of, he was wanting to look if there's any reports done, but it's kind of a newer fund and a new program, and it kind of looks to see if there's opportunities for planting around Gold River for some additional tree coverage for the resiliency to climate change. So it's kind of exciting because we've been hearing a lot of grants like this closing on like the 2 Billion Trees program. So it's, yeah, gratitude to Sean for having his ear to the ground and finding funding opportunities like this, and considering Gold River and how we can be resilient to climate change and also find outside funding to help us with that. So thanks to him, and it looks really exciting. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Pickard. Councillor Pringle.
Thank you to the chair. Happy New Year. I was gonna say Happy Merry Christmas, but that's over.
Welcome back.
So I agree with this grant. I think it's a really good idea. The only problems I have is living here since 1976. Many beautiful trees have grown here and then been bucked down, and or have been in a place where they've taken up road, sidewalk, housing, lawns. Hopefully I'll have a better brain in 19, I was gonna say 1926.
I'm still a little in holiday mode too,
Thank
Counselor
you.
Pringle, so I can relate to you.
Thank you. So I just would hope that they would be cognizant of that, because in 25 years, when I come back in my dotage and go down the street, I don't want to have to say, those were the trees we planted and now they've been bucked down.
Mhm.
It would be nice to be able to have something long-standing from this grant. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Pringle. Anyone else care to comment on that? Oh, great. Counselor Rimmer.
Yeah, love the idea, and I think this grant does kind of address some of those concerns of guidance where prioritize tree planting in order to reduce the effects of extreme heat. Ideally, that would be part of the grant, and I like to believe that that is going to be something they're going to be quite cognizant of, because there's, I mean, some really cool trees in town, but there's also some really cool trees that are right in the way of things. So yeah, I mean, having that call it diversification of tree species, bit more tree canopy is, kind of cool. I mean, we have tons of, fir and whatnot around town, but, having something a little bit different that's going to, ideally mitigate wildfire impact and heat and whatnot is, totally fine by me, especially if it's a free grant. Free money is always good.
I agree with you, Counselor Rimmer. I love grant money. Counselor Fawson.
Thank you to the chair. I do just have one question about this, though, is that does this give the SRD the ability and the authority to then implement that Gold River will have these trees planted in the areas that they choose to? And I would prefer that it's the municipality that has the choice to decide whether or not these trees will be planted in specific areas, particularly when I look at them identifying, potentially identifying locations that provide the most effective cooling, such as on the west and south sides of buildings to shade windows, paved areas like parking lots and busy sidewalks. Well, I really don't know how the SRD knows that without doing a full study in our town, and whether or not we want to allow them to implement this without future council's decisions. So those are just my concerns, but I too agree. I like free grant money. So
Thank you, Counselor Fawson. I also had that concern, and that concern was that they can do the study and they can provide the information and the recommendations, but whether or not species are planted and where they're planted, that would be determined and approved by council. It'd be a council determination. Is that my understanding of the scope of how the grant functions there, CEO?
That's correct, Your Worship. This basically will be a report back to us, and then that would be available to us, and we'd have input into the initiation of whatever is done afterwards. But this is just getting basic information, sort of like our Parks Master Plan or some of our other ones. It's a report, but then it'll help support action in the future.
Does that change your perspective, Counselor Fawson?
thank you to the chair. Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir. Counselor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair, and thanks, Counselor Fawson, for your concerns and thinking about that, and Counselor Pringle, what the decisions now are for the future. And as Administrator Roy said, Sean today mentioned this would just kind of be an assessment and like prioritization and a report that we'd get a chance to look at after. And he wasn't even really too sure if we'd qualify, because we do have quite a bit of tree coverage compared to some districts and jurisdictions that would apply, but you don't really know till you try. So it was a good perspective to give it a shot and see if we could be successful. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor Pickard. The focus seems to be on climate control through vegetation and utilization of natural species or non-indigenous species in order to achieve that. And if it was our taxpayers' money, I would probably be very reluctant to spend it there, because it wouldn't be a high priority item for me. And I don't believe it's a high priority item for the citizens of our community. Nobody's really approached me and indicated that's something that they want to address. However, if it's a provincial government initiative and they're willing to fund it, and somebody else is willing to provide the resources in order to do the research, like our staff is overtaxed already. We're looking at a very ambitious program for 2026. Certainly wouldn't want to add something like this to that workload already. So as long as the SRD staff are working with, I'm sure, the consultants to do it, so we don't have to draw down on any of our human resources here, and the provincial government is paying for it, and we have a determination to accept or refuse or to determine what we want to see implemented. I think there's enough safeguards in place there that I could support something like this without any concerns, because I don't see any downsides to us. I just see upside to it. So I would support it. Any other discussion on receipts? No, call for the question. All in favor of receiving it? Great. Let's move on to the next one then. It sounds like we're all in favor of this thing. The motion is that the Village of Gold River pass a council resolution to support the Strathcona Regional District's application to the 2026 Growing Canada Community Canopies Grant in order to fund a regional equity-focused tree planting prioritization study. Holy smokes, that's a mouthful. Would care to move that, Councillor Waymire, second by Councillor Pringle. Any more discussion or to have enough? I think we're all in favor of this thing anyways. Call for the question. All in favor, passed unanimously, done. Reports from council. Councillor Fawson, would you care to lead us off?
Just wanted to say thank you to the community for supporting the Angel Tree project that we had in our community. We were able to help out 29 families and individuals who may be single parent or elderly. So again, just thank you to council and to the community for supporting that. And just want to say a special thank you as well to our team at the medical center and the union. So thank you to the community.
And thank you for the church for sponsoring that and making that a reality for less unfortunate or challenged people in our community during the Christmas period. Thank you, sir. Anything else, Councillor Fawson?
Not at this time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. And I'd like to, start off the report with a similar sentiment as Councillor Fawson. And thank you for coordinating the Angel Tree and just making the season so special for everybody. And thanks to all the businesses, volunteers, residents, and community groups for all their efforts to make Christmas warm, inclusive, abundant, full of care, presents, special community building events, and comforting meals. Everyone's efforts to make these darkest days of the year bright and filled with love and light was evident and very heartwarming. You see it all year round in Gold River, but it was really special at Christmas. There were so many things that just made everybody feel part of community and loved and well-fed and enjoying concerts, and everything was really special. So I won't name every event, but everything really made me realize we're so fortunate to live in such a special place where generosity and care for each other are evident themes throughout the year, and especially during the holidays that can be heavy for some. And then moving on, I did a minister dialogue on December 8th, which was super interesting. It was with the Honorable Kelly Green, Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, and the Honorable Randy Neal, Minister of Walrus, and just lots of questions from municipal government on mostly permitting, expediting permitting, and how their mandates can kind of help support municipal governments and just be more efficient and kind of less delayed and less time and money consuming. So that was really interesting. And then you guys have a little bit of dialogue in there about the salmon allocation policy. So there's some consultation open right now with the DFO on revising the salmon allocation policy. And any residents or individuals can submit feedback, but I wanted to do a draft letter on behalf of the Village of Gold River. There's lots of details in there. So if anyone has any questions, they can feel free to reach out. But a lot of proposed changes take away priority access to residential and rec fishers. So it would really impact all of us, our residents that fish with our families for food, all the businesses associated with rec fishing. So lodges, bait, tackle, restaurants. And the proposed changes want to give that priority access to commercial fishers, which are a lot less in number, bring a lot less to GDP. A lot of that money goes to the state. So, most of the commercial fishers aren't increasing food security and GDP here. And there's lots of great info on the facts and just how much GDP that rec fishery brings to our area. If you think of all the things and the experience and the ceremonial, traditional, cultural experience of our residents, we're all here kind of for the fish. And so having priority for Chinook and Coho for rec fishers is a really big deal. And I think important that we put our support letter in. It's kind of a feedback letter. Yeah, and some of the proposed changes, they want to have the rec priority given to commercial fishers, and then also have a fixed cap, like a shares model on fish. So once that cap was hit, rec fishing would be closed immediately. So it would be very detrimental to business and individuals planning trips in BC. There'd be major uncertainty and opportunities to cancel and would be short notice. So it'd be nearly impossible for people to plan trips out here and later in the season when it would be kind of at the cap. So I don't really know why, but the DFO, they don't really want to look at socioeconomic metrics of the rec salmon fishery and what that generates. But it's a lot higher social, cultural, and economic contributions to Canadians and our residents and our businesses than the commercial fishery. So yeah, so we have our support letter here. So do I have to do a motion to do? You guys can, if you had a chance to review it, and the deadline for review was January 9th, but the DFO extended it to the 23rd. So if there's anything else you guys want to add in or want more time to look at it, we can do that. Otherwise, I'd like to make a motion just to do this feedback letter on behalf of the Village of Gold River and the residents and the businesses here, just highlighting all the benefits that this fishery brings our residents, our families that fish for food, that share fish with the people that can't fish, our kids that are learning to fish and kind of the traditions with that and to be really responsible. And fishing kind of breeds this sense of stewardship and conservation. So to kind of, oh yeah.
You just need somebody, you just need somebody to second it. and we can
Okay,
discuss it.
so the
I
motion
hadn't
is,
finished our
to
conversation.
submit the feedback letter that which you guys have that's just requesting the DFO to keep priority with rec fishers.
So could you, just for clarification, could you repeat the motion that you're proposing?
The motion is to submit this feedback letter on behalf of the Village of Gold River to request priority access to recreational fishers.
Counselor, care to second it? Counselor Pringle? Discussion? Counselor Pringle?
Thank you. I don't know too much about this, so I just would like to ask a question about where our Indigenous nation stands on this. What does the Mauchit Mushlet people, do they have commercial fishing? And I know like there's a lot of rec fishing also because that's their culture. And but I just want to make sure that we're not infringing on anything that they might have going if they have recreation, or if they have commercial fishing. Because maybe that could be added into the letter saying, you know, however we could do that, you know. Can you answer to the mayor through?
Yes. You want to
Okay,
respond
thank
to
you,
that,
Councillor
Counselor Pickard?
Pringle. Yeah, thank you so much, and it's a good point to bring up. And so it's important to highlight that all stakeholder groups agree on the established order of priorities. So first is conservation, first and foremost. Then the second order priority is First Nations food, social, and ceremonial needs. So those two come first. And then court-defined rights and treaty-based commercial fisheries. Only after all these are addressed are considerations given to the rec and commercial. So it's kind of all the First Nation, food, ceremonial, social, treaty rights and based commercial fisheries. And then the First Nations and commercial want to change priority access to commercial fisheries. But I don't know MFN in specific, but as kind of a whole, First Nations have been requesting the change of priority go from commercial or from recreational to commercial.
Follow-up question, Counselor Pringle? You're good? Thank you. Any other discussion? I have a logistical question. How did you envision this letter being drafted? On behalf of council? That's it right there? That's what you're going to put in? Okay. In its entirety?
I thank you, unless if you want to add anything or change anything, and then maybe we could, the submission process is just an email, so maybe we could put it on letterhead and email it in.
Any additions, deletions, comments on what's being proposed? Councillor Fawcett?
Thank you through the chair. I think it's good that this consultation process is going through. I've had an opportunity to talk to a few recreational salmon fishers this last season. They had some disturbing, they had witnessed some disturbing events taking place, not from our commercial fisheries or our recreational fishermen and women. But they had recognized that foreign countries' commercial fishing fleets just being outside over the horizon on international waters. And then as the sun goes down, they come into our Canadian fishing waters and then dragnet. And so I think it's good that this is looked at, but there is a deeper issue here too, and that is, I think we all agree, is the protection of our fishing waters on our west coast, particularly off of Vancouver Island. I don't know if we can add anything like that to this since it's just a consultation process, but it's something to keep in mind when we're looking at this whole issue, even though it may not be a Village of Gold River issue. If we're going to throw our support behind it, then we're also may in the future be looking at throwing our support in regards to protecting our waters more from international commercial fishing vessels that are illegally taking the fish from Canadian waters. So just my comment. So thank
Okay.
you.
It's a comment. You're not proposing an amendment to this document. You accept this document in its current form? Terrific. Any other discussion? Everybody's happy? Terrific. Call for the question. All in favor? And thank you very much. Are you done, Councillor Pickard?
One more thing. Hey, thank you guys for that. And yeah, if you guys speak to any residents that want to put any feedback in, it's open until the 23rd for feedback. If anybody wants to, they say kind of simple's better and just share what the fishing means for you or your family or friends here. So that's open also. And also just wanted to thank you guys too for your support for the Nootka Sound Watershed Society. There's no meeting in December, but at the end of December, there was a lot of coverage and just kind of year in review and big wins for salmon from the Pacific Salmon Foundation. And one of the main projects highlighted were the Mushlet Gravel project on lots of their media, you know, to the whole BC. So it was really, I felt so proud of us as a community, and thanks to you guys for supporting the project, and Mount Mushlet. We're our big partners in the project, and it was really great to see MFN chiefs on the videos talking, and the vice president of Pacific Salmon saying this is a really big deal and a big win for salmon. And yeah, and the footage looked awesome. Mushlet River and Lake looked great. So thank you guys for that, and congrats to everybody involved in making all that work happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pickard. Good. Thank you. Councillor Pringle.
Not at this time, thank you, Your Honor.
Still in holiday mode. I think I'm joining you. Councillor Rimar.
Yeah, and early December, which seemed like a lifetime ago, I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting in December, I guess. Not a huge amount to report back to council, at least anything actionable. They're going to be working on their strategic plan in the early new year. Had a couple questions about signage. They were talking about their website, and that was generally it. I'm sure there's some bigger things coming, but yeah, pretty excited to see them playing with their strategic plan and moving forward with that.
Thank you, Councillor Rimar. I'm kind of in the camp of Councillor Pringle, and I have lots of great holiday stories to share with council and community, but I'm sure that that can probably be done at another time. If anybody's interested, they can approach me and I can tell you about the awesome events that happened on my Christmas holiday. Yeah.
Does anybody want to hear about my grandkids?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Probably nobody wants to hear about my grandchild who's 10 years old, got her now, or Patty diving, open water diving certificate. But anyways, I'll pass until our next meeting or have something more relevant to for the community to share. And on to number 10. Information items, work in progress, excuse me. The motion is council receive the work in progress for information. Moved by Councillor Paulson, second by Councillor Pringle. Any discussion? Hearing none, Councillor Weimer.
Yeah, I guess as far as discussion goes, was it last meeting or a meeting earlier? We talked about deferring the committee or the grant and aid update to a committee of the whole meeting in 2026. I just kind of wanted to put it out there if anybody's, I mean, God forbid we did it today, but sometime in the near future, do we want to set a date for this?
Council? So they want to look at a calendar and set a date? Is that that's what's being requested by Councillor Weimer?
And if I'm, uh, for myself, I think, early February sometime, our first meeting in February would probably be good. Give us another meeting to get, our gears running again. And then, so yeah, I guess my proposal would be to go for the first meeting in February.
Works for me. Is there any reason why we couldn't do that, CAO?
We would probably do it as a committee of the whole, which was the direction. So if,
It'd be a separate.
so it'd be
meeting.
like, if you want to do early February, probably February 9th.
So it'd be in between our first and second meeting in February.
That is correct, your worship.
Does that fall into the holiday at all? I know we have a family day in there. What does that, the 16th? That doesn't conflict with that? Okay. Does that work for council, committee of the whole? Councilor Pringle?
Could it not be on a Monday night? Or,
Committee of the whole meetings can be scheduled whenever we like. Which I just think Monday's kind of a day that we've kind of moved into our schedules to have meetings. Yeah.
displeasure, but I'll do it.
Great. That means I'll be able to take in the third period. Terrific. So can we set that up then?
Yes, your worship.
Thank you. Do you need a motion or anything requiring that? That's just a change of schedule. Thank you, sir. Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Done. Reports of committees, none. Bylaws. Did a lot of work in this in 2025. We're just kind of wrapping it up in 2026. 2026 financial plan bylaw, that financial plan bylaw number 762, 2025 be adopted by title only. Who would care to move it? Councillor Weimer, second by Councillor Boston. Any discussion? Has certainly had exhaustive discussions in December and November. Okay. Terrific. Interesting thing that I learned in one of my classes when I was going through my local government administration course, it was an economics professor, and he said, and it resonated with me, said, numbers tell a story. And this is a great number story, and it tells a lot of different things about Gold River. And it certainly reflects the values, I think, of this council and community and staff and management and our employees, that we wanted to get to a point where we were self-sufficient. And we want to get to a point where we were sustainable without having to depend on other things. And I think that you can go back over previous meetings and you can hear my sentiments on it, but they remain the same. Is that I think that we put this community in very good footing, in a very good position going forward. And I know a lot of residents that approach me from the community wondering whether or not Gold River is going to still be their beloved Gold River, or whether or not we'd be closing the pools down or closing the arenas down or closing golf course downs or park or cutting services and laying off and firing locals and contracting out and doing all sorts of things like that for extreme things. And now I can point to a 5-year financial plan that's been approved by this council and been achieved by this council and staff and employees and members of the community and everybody else who participate in that process and say, no, we're not going to do that. Here's your 5-year plan. It says that the Gold River that you know and you love and you want to be a part of and you want to work, live and raise your families here, it's going to be here for 5 years. See, it says the pool's going to be here for 5 years. Here it says the arena's going to be here for 5 years. It says your golf course will be here for 5 years. Your parks will be here for 5 years. We're not cutting services dramatically. We're maintaining service levels. We're not laying off people. We're not firing a lot of people. We're not contracting everything out. The Gold River that you know, that you recognize, that you love, and you know, spent a lot of your life in and chosen to work here and play here and, you know, live here is going to be there. And it's not going to be jeopardized because we can't find some big international company that wants to come in and set up a business down at West Coast Marine Terminals. We can pay our own bills now. And I keep on reiterating that, but it's so important to me that this community be self-sustaining without and not be at risk and be vulnerable. And it's not going to be. Next 5 years, I can point to people who want to move into the community who look at the facility and say, unbelievable. How do you guys have all these things? Are they going to be here for any period of time? Or are you going to have to close them all down? And no, I can point to my 5-year financial plan and say, no, these are going to be here. People that want to come into our community and are wondering about investing here other than other places are going to look at that and say, is your pool stand open? Is your arena stand open? Is your golf course stand open? Wow, are all these things going to be here? Gee, I like that. You know what? I think I'm going to start my business here because I'm not going to have to pay to build all these things to attract the skilled employees I need to run my businesses. They're going to stay here because there'll be all these things over here and they want to, that'll help me retain these people. I'm going to invest in your community. And I think that more than anything, in the long run, that probably would be one of the major factors or considerations for any companies that are looking at a place where they want to invest their capital. Gives us a bit of advantage. So yeah, I'm very happy. When I look at that, that's, I think, the crowning achievement of this council and this administration and this community. I like where we are. I like where we're positioned. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, like I said, my professor told me that numbers tell a story and there's a really good story in there. And there's other stories too, but that's the one that's most critical and most important to me. Councillor Pringle.
Thank you to the mayor, and I really second, third, fourth, and fifth all your points. I just would like to say that when we ran, we wanted to leave the village in a better place than what we found it. And thank you to the councils before us who kept steward and kept looking out for keeping those places open and making sure that, you know, things progressed for us to being so wonderful and doing a good legacy for the next people who are coming up. And I just would like to say thank you to the town for putting their faith and, you know, their votes behind us. And I think we've done a good job. We've all worked very hard. We've stayed up nights. We've cried. We've, you know, we've lamented, but we've always come to the decision that will help our employees and help our town and, you know, make sure that we still have the infrastructure that we need. And I'm just really very proud of us all. And especially, you know, our people who come to the meetings all the time and who make us accountable. You know, that it all helps and it all works towards a better community. And I just would like to thank everybody for that.
Nice sentiments. Thank you, Councillor Pringle. Anyone else want to care to comment? Sometimes great initiatives take a lot of courage. Sometimes they're just leaps of faith. If you study the electorate in British Columbia, they return their incumbents at a rate of about 80%. So if you chose to rerun again in the next election, you got an 80% advantage over any challengers. 80%. this community had certain convictions. They had resolve, they had determination that they wanted to go in a different direction, and they took a bold leap of faith on S5. I remember when we started off, I dubbed you guys the green team. And hopefully that after 4 years, we'd evolve into the dream team. But I knew starting off as a green team, it was going to be very challenging because there's a learning curve and there's working together. But congratulations to you guys because you managed to meld together and work effectively as a unit and move the community in the direction it had to go to. And working with your staff and staff and employees, got this community to a position where it's stable. And it's in a position where I wanted it to be so that the next phase would be renewal and growth. And I think that's going to be the challenge of the next council. We'll get that started, but we had to get here before we could get there. And I really want to, really recognize and acknowledge the electorate in this community because they're the folks that started this. And if they didn't have the courage of their convictions, if they didn't have that boldness, there would never be a group like this working together to try and to get to where we are today. So yeah, all started off with the electorate, right? And so they did an amazing job because like I said, it's a leap of faith on us, the green team. And I think that we delivered. And yeah, this document kind of says it because like I said, numbers tell a story. And that's one of the stories that has been told here. So any other discussion that you want to have on this? I think we exhausted it, kind of repeating the themes over from January to just trying to recycle them from October, November, December. Anyways, yeah. If there's no other discussion, everybody's happy with the 5-year financial plan, call for the question, all in favor of accepting it. Terrific, well done. Moving on to utility bylaws. That bylaw number 61314, 2025, water rates and regulations amendment bylaw by adoption by title only, and that bylaw number 61416, 2025, sewer rates amendment bylaw by adoption by title only, and that bylaw number 61216, 2025, trade waste and garbage amendment bylaw by adopted by title only. Moved by Councillor Fawcett, seconded by Councillor Waymire. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question, all in favor? Done. Correspondence?
Your worship, just for a note, I didn't remove my placeholder of block correspondence, so you can ignore that one.
So you basically, the council received the block correspondence for information?
Yeah, that's my placeholder. I missed deleting it.
That works for me. Do that one first. We got 13.2 that was added as a late item, 13.3 school district correspondence. So let's do the first one then. Block correspondence, council received the block correspondence for information. Moved by Councillor Pringle, seconded by Councillor Pickard. Either that or she's scratching her chin, one of the two. But I get discretion as the mayor and the chair, so that's a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor, done. 13.3 school district. This is something that you're introducing to the agenda. So Roy, would you care to speak to it, sir?
Your worship, this is correspondence we received today requesting council, inviting council to a meeting on February 9th at 2 p.m.
Okay. And is there a particular agenda here that we're supposed to be considering for this, or is it just, is this a social visit or is this a school?
This would be the annual
Is it-
request they have to meet with council. There no agenda was forwarded to us, just a request to meet.
Similar to what we had done historically during the last time? Okay, I think I understand what that is. Discussion, council? I think this is on the request. Counselor Pringle.
I have no problems with it. I just would not be able to attend. But I think it's a good idea that if everybody who can attend does attend.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Weimer.
Yeah, I have no problem attending at this time and date. So I think we would accept their invitation. So I guess I'll make a motion that we accept their invitation.
As per the request. Okay. Seconder, Counselor Pringle. Any further discussion on Counselor Waymar's motion? No, call for a question. All in favor? Done. Anybody able to attend that? Of the 4? Because it's 2:00. Okay. Did they want to know in advance who is attending there? CAO Roy?
I will just advise them that we'll have some members of council attending.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what my agenda is. I haven't got my calendar here, so I don't know if I can commit or not. That's something you could talk to your employer about. Great, that does that one. 14 new business, nothing. Question period. Any questions online, Administrator Roy, or is everybody still in 2025 and wondering why we're meeting this today?
No hands raised online, Your Worship.
Gallery, Hillary, do you have any questions for council? I love our gallery. Oh, miss you guys.
Hang on, Your Worship, we need to have one hand raised.
We had one hand raised. Great. And can we hear your question? Yeah.
You will need to unmute.
Hello.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
Could you introduce yourself? Let me know who you are and where you live, and then the floor is yours. You can ask away.
My name is Jenny Riddell Waymeyer, and I live where Peter lives. And
Is there a conflict of interest here with Counselor Waymar? Or is that, you okay with that?
it's just a question. I
It
don't
doesn't.
care if he participates or not. It's my question, not his.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Go ahead.
Given the age of some of our infrastructure, if a crucial system failed before scheduled upgrades in the 5-year plan, what immediate steps would the village take to avoid closures and service interruptions? And how much contingency capacity or financial cushion is available to manage that situation?
Great. I'll pass that on to our CAO. Mr. Roy?
Currently, we do still have reserves that we can tap in to address any major incident. Again, it would depend on what the issue is, would determine the timelines and the steps that would be needed. This is a very open-ended question that it could not nail down. We do have the capacity, though, to deal with emergencies as need be at this time. If not, there's always the option, if we have the financial issue that we don't have the funds, that we could always borrow, but we do have mechanisms to be able to address it. And if it is a major thing, it ends up being an emergency management issue, there'd also be access through Emergency Management BC to address an emergency of that nature if it just becomes a local state of emergency.
And I guess the village still has the capacity to borrow money if it was a requirement. Did you have any follow-up questions there, Jenny?
Nope, I think that answers it. Just making sure that everything can stay open if there's like a major failure. That answered it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. Have a good
Bye.
evening. Bye. Terrific. Anyone else, sir? Nope. Moving on then. Notice of motion, Councillor Waymeyer, new channel language stop sign. Would you care to speak to that, Councillor Waymeyer, or do you just want us to move? We turn on the button.
Yeah, I'll just quickly touch on this. So this is a notice of motion to be on our next January meeting regarding a new channel language stop sign.
What are you proposing, Councilor Rimmer?
So the proposal in this motion would be for staff to work with the Motion Mushlett First Nation about looking into implementing a stop sign within town, specifically at the intersection of Nimka Street and the village's main thoroughfare.
Thank you, sir. Seconder? You're not motioning it yet? So no, it's a motion at the next meeting. Okay. Gee, I want to get on it right now. I think that we don't need too much. Anyways, we'll wait till next meeting. I know where I want to go with this one right away. Any other questions I had of Councilor Waymire?
Sorry, just to that, is it Nimkish Drive or Nimkish Street?
Nimkish Drive.
Okay. Sorry, I,
I don't know the street name. Highway 28 technically.
I just want Councilor Waymire to realize that that he's in the presence of an educator. Any other discussion? Reminds me of some of my teachers when I was going through school. Okay. Councilor Fawson. Are you still addressing this issue right here?
Yes, thank
Go ahead,
you.
sir.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm looking forward for us to talk about this. I just have an insight into the placement of the sign that I can raise
Certainly.
at the time, at our next meeting.
Yeah, well, I got a little ahead of it myself.
Yeah.
I was ready to go tonight.
Yeah, no, but I don't think it's right that I make my suggestion.
Okay, we'll wait until
tonight.
next meeting then. Good self-control, sir. Something I haven't quite learned yet. I'm working on it though. Work in progress. Councilor Weaver, are you happy with that? Anything else? You're good? Okay, terrific.
You notice.
You certainly have. Yeah, and you've explained on what street we're going on, so that's good. Motion to adjourn in camera, not necessary. Rise and report, we're not rising and reporting on anything. Adjournment, that the meeting be adjourned. You care to move it? Councilor Foster, second by Councilor Pickard. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the question, and we are done. That's your first meeting of 2026. Well done, council. Bye, Lori. Thanks for coming out.